Hey, what's good with the YouTube, man? This is your boy Rojo. And this is the Rojo Room, man. As you can see, I'm joined by my boy, a Convict's Perspectives own, as well as Real Talk with Flacco. Big Flacco's in the building. And today, man, we're going to talk about some rumblings that we've heard coming out of the institutions, man, about the Bulldogs and a couple of other groups possibly forming alliances during this interesting time we got with people being moved around from traditional housing into other strongholds, man. So first, man, we're going to talk about, is there an alliance between the Flowers as well as the Bulldogs? Flacco, what's your take?
Okay, well, it's good. You know, we already know about the incident in Salinas Valley. They have coexisted over there with the New Flowers. The New Flowers are not technically deep over there in Salinas Valley. I think CR, right? If I'm not mistaken. So the thing that's interesting about this topic is that there's actually almost two factions of the New Flowers. But if you ask the original New Flowers, they'll say that there's only one. There's people who branched off into the SNY side. So if it was going to be an alliance between the two, you know, it goes back to see what's going on in Salinas Valley. I think that there's possibilities because of relationships there, being on the yard together, being able to coexist, and having a like-minded ideals. Like the New Flowers, as we know, they're just like, they're not like the Bulldogs as far as some of the conduct, but they have the similar beliefs. They want to operate independently. They don't want anybody to dictate what they do. They check paperwork, they do all that other kind of stuff. They clear trash and everything, and they have the same oppositions. So the original New Flowers, I could see. The New Flowers on the SNY side, I don't know too much about the difference between the two. I just knew I talked to a real active New Flower who told me that they don't acknowledge those guys. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be the, you know, catch-22. But I think they can. I think they can have that alliance because they've been there for a couple of years. They have common enemies, and they've been in battle.
I would agree. As far like you said, there are two different groups that consider themselves New Flowers. However, my boy that I've known since the mid '90s, he's been with them gentlemen a long time. He is on an active main line. He says that, just like you said, they don't acknowledge those guys on the SNY, and you know, basically they don't consider them Flowers. Now, with what happened, the Salinas Valley incident, you know, that kicked off, where some dogs and a flower got action at taking off on some people, other GPs, but segregated by the administration, Northern, white, Southern, whatever the case was, they acted together as a group to attack them. They've been coexisting on that line for a long time. Now, the Flowers, they are really, really similar, as far as the ones on the GP, to Northerners, except for the fact that they're not forcing each other to, you know, kick down percentages, and you know, there's no real hierarchy. Everybody's an individual member, very, very similar to the Bulldogs. So the fact that these two groups may be uniting forces, or may already have, it wouldn't surprise me at all, because at the end of the day, they're extremely, extremely similar. And that's meant in no disrespect to either group. If you guys feel a different way listening to this, hearing this, you guys don't like the structure. You know what I mean? You guys still check paperwork. You do everything that all the other active groups do, minus the extreme politic. You know what I mean? You handle your business, you get off, you program, you know, you live by that certain convict code. And both groups are real similar like that, man. So I wouldn't be surprised as far as the active, you know, the New Flowers that are on the active yards are concerned with the Bulldogs. Not at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, to me, I would be pursuing that relationship, man, because regardless of what anybody thinks, their strength in numbers, you know.
Yeah, most definitely. There's been rumors about other groups as well, man, that they may be forming an alliance with, man. And I think they're just rumors. I don't believe them to be true. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to acknowledge it. There's been rumors about the Riders trying to form an alliance with them as well, because they're supposed to be going back out to the main lines. I think that would be a difficult transition. The only way I could see any of those SNY groups joining forces with the original New Flowers and Bulldogs is if they eliminate anybody that has potentially damaging charges on their jackets. You know what I'm saying? But the hard part about it is this: is to go to SNY, you got to tell the cop, I need to go SNY. That's like a self-admittance. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difficulty. And let's say they've been on non-designated yards this whole time. You know what I mean? That may be a different type of scenario, man. So that's been thrown out there. And that could be thrown out there just for the active survival, to be honest with you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you know, I doubt it though. I think the Bulldogs are going to maybe stand on their own. I think they maybe will ultimately have a relationship with the New Flowers. The New Flowers, let's keep it real. They need more help than anybody. You know what I mean? As far as the ones that are GP, they don't have that many numbers. They probably have maybe under 30 members total. I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? You know, but that's from my understanding. And, you know, the original New Flowers, as we know, they were a GP group. They were not an original PC group. They were out in High Desert D Yard, and they did at one time have interactions with Snoop. When Snoop went over there. You know what I'm saying? The issue that the New Flowers had with Snoop, and they've said this to me ultimately, was that he decided to take his movement to the SNY side. You know what I mean? I don't know if that was administratively controlled. I don't know how that took place. I don't know the details of it. This is only this is hearsay that came out of someone's mouth that's involved in it. So, you know what I mean? Anybody can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't understand the dynamics of these SNY groups. You know what I'm saying? I can only go by what a few people I know that are associated with it have told me.
Right. Me as well. I talk all the time to an active New Flower that's on an active yard, that's been on an active yard for 30 years. I just don't see it happening either as far as the riders go. And that's not necessarily, you know, a shot at them from my behalf. It's just the way that they're classified, the way that their growth has happened, where they're located at. That's just like the Bulldogs and the original New Flowers are very active. You know what I mean? They're active groups, and I don't think that they would put aside the fact that these guys are on these particular yards just for manpower. You know what I mean? I just don't see them swallowing that and being like, we need numbers that bad where, you know, we ruin everything we've had going for the last 30 years being active and you know, conducting ourselves in a way similar to all the other groups who are active to go with these dudes, bro. I don't see it. I know the Northern Riders within themselves have split ideas as far as what they represent. You know what I mean? Some of them strive to get back on those active lines. You know what I mean? And I know don't get it twisted. There's some down Northern Riders. As a whole, I don't really see that as a whole in the group, but there are exceptions to the rule, and there's a lot of them.
On the flip side of it, right? You know what I'm saying? You know, if we're technically going to be real, actors and inactives, bro, it's kind of all fake. It's all fake and sugar-coated, because technically you're not supposed to request what fucking yard you're supposed to go into. I remember back in the day, you're supposed to just get to a yard.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to say, oh, I'm active. Oh, I need to go in. I'm inactive. You're fronting yourself off. You're telling on yourself. So it's in my eyes, it's no different than when someone gets to the pin. Oh, I want to go inactive. This dude, oh, I want to go active. What's the difference?
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Technically, you're supposed to go out to that yard and go handle your business. Oh, you're active, really? Okay. You can put me anywhere. That's what you were told to tell back in the days. I don't know when this whole thing changed about are you active? Or are you inactive? And being able to tell administration. It first started when people were telling people they were North Daniels when they got to prison, because they didn't want to be put as an other, where they get sent down south and get crossed up. So people started fronting themselves off of what their titles were. That's just the truth.
Good point. That's a good point.
And so if you're really going to sit there and fault people for saying, oh, I'm inactive, well, why don't you fault the people for saying they're active? Because technically you're not supposed to say shit.
Yeah. That's limiting where they're going to put you at to avoid conflict, when you're supposed to accept all conflict that's thrown your way.
Yeah.
I agree. Good point.
Because I remember when I was in the hole and I got off, right? I told them, you guys can send me wherever you want.
Yeah.
I never said anything. I couldn't go to any yard. I was trying to get back out to the yard. I knew I was going to get off, but I kept saying, put me wherever you want, send me wherever you want. That's what you used to have to tell administration. You couldn't say, well, oh, I'm an active Northerner, I want to go over there to Solano. Oh, I'm an active Northerner, I want to go to Salinas Valley. You couldn't do that kind of shit. You couldn't even say you were active, because if you were saying you were active, that was an admission of guilt that could be used against you in validations. So
100%. And in future court cases as well.
I don't see anything faulty. I see the same similarities of someone saying they're inactive or active, because technically, if you could say, why don't you tell them as an active? Why don't you say, hey, I'm inactive, to go out there and go handle your business then? You know what I'm saying? Let's just keep it 100.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Times have changed.
Times have changed, man. So, I mean, I can see them kind of making decisions based upon that because everybody fronts themselves off. Everybody identifies, oh, I'm a Crip, I'm a Blood, I'm a Bulldog. That's just the reality of it.
Yeah, you're not supposed to say nothing. What you really supposed to do when you show up somewhere, hey, what are you? I don't know nothing about that. I'm an inmate.
Yep.
Straight up. I mean, yeah, granted, a lot of people got tattoos, a lot of people this and that, and they're going to do that anyway. But in our time, when you had the opportunity to go somewhere, it didn't matter if it was PC, it didn't matter if there was 400 Serenos and 3 homeboys that are paying rent and polishing knobs and stuff. Bro, you try to go there.
I went in the active pod in Santa Rita, not the active pod, but the fucking holy tank. I didn't tell them where I needed to go. They put me in there because they always slide me down the hole. Anyways, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So every time I went there, so last time I went there, I went in the active pods lucky. Didn't last that long, but.
Hey, I was always told never to even admit you're a Northerner. Be like, where are you from? Like, California. That's why, man, my whole first term I was down as a other. You know what I mean? They're like, no, are you a Wood? I'm like, no. Are you North? No. Are you South? No.
So you see my point in it?
What are you? I'm a human being, man. You know what I'm saying? What are you talking about?
What I'm trying to get at is there's no difference in someone telling the administration, oh, I'm inactive to go over there. And say
no, that is a great point, bro. I haven't even considered that. And actually, when you say you're active, not only are you telling on yourself and admitting you're in a gang, it's kind of a soft way out, bro.
Yeah, bro. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to get at is there's no different in those actions than one that says he's active, because not everybody on SNY had to debrief. Not everybody had to do that. Some people go there, oh, I'm inactive. You know what I'm saying? That's it. They don't have to tell. They don't have to do nothing. So that's what I'm saying. There may be potential for some people that are in those SNY movements that are not movements, but SNY that may be able to be accepted, but it'd have to be fucking fully investigated. I doubt it's going to happen. I'm just saying I doubt it's going to happen. But if you really want to get real about it, not everybody on there. Not everybody on there is as labeled as trash as people think. Because there's the same trash that are on the SNY yards now were the same trash that were on the main lines in the 90s. It was no different in the 80s, 90s. Those same people were out there in the main lines walking the yards back then. You know what I mean? So it's just the reality of it. Now times are kind of going back to where everybody's being thrown out there. You know, and the only way for any of these groups to succeed as far as any longevity of establishing a foothold is to have alliances. They're going to have to do something, because I don't think the Bulldogs and even the New Flowers alone can overtake the Norteños and the Sureños. It just ain't going to happen. Yeah. Now, if they align with some of these SNY groups, I'm not saying to do this. I'm talking as a realist about this topic. Now, if they align with certain people and they can cross-check and sit there and see if they have bad paperwork or bad this or bad that, and they clean up their trash, then I can see them starting to form alliances with different groups. Okay, their people are clean. Okay, we can't fuck with the riders over here because their people ain't clean, or we can't fuck with the 2-5ers. Their paperwork ain't clean. You know, not everybody's there for being debriefing. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's there. They're there for telling the cops, I want to go there. But so is the active cat that went to this yard over here. You know what I mean? So
hey, that's 100% true. A lot of people probably never thought of that. You know, in my time, I think when I first went back to the pen after I wasn't in good standings anymore, when I went in 2006, I think that's when you still had to debrief and all that kind of stuff to get out there. You know, especially those of us who were validated and stuff like that. I'm not 100% sure, because I just sat down and did my time in the hole as a validated gang member. But nowadays, man, I'm pretty sure all you got to do is go to the staff and say, when you pull up an R&R, say that you're not active to get out there. I don't think you got to do all that stuff no more. You know? So, yeah, there's no difference in, hey, I'm active. I can only go to these yards. I can't go to those yards.
That's days, the Carnales in the 80s and 90s, they were telling you to go out to those integrated yards, telling you to do that shit to get busy, bro. Yeah. They're not doing it no more. So, I mean, the game is a little bit different. You know, that's why I keep on promoting that, you know, prison is not the place for people to go. It's not about that life anymore. You know, everything's watered down. It's sugar coated. It doesn't mean that there's not dudes that are about that action. Yes, there's always going to be dudes about that action, but just the overall senses of things, man. It's not the same. It's better to be out here living, taking care of your family and so forth, man, because, you know, the same belief system you may have one day, it may not be that same one 10 years from now. Or you may get too caught up in your ego that you may continue down that path knowing damn well everything is bullshit.
I'm gonna tell you guys one thing that probably doesn't pop into a lot of people's minds either. Is you got to remember, a lot of these people on these SNY yards are not members of SNY gangs. You got to remember also that there is a lot more former B's and C's on these SNY yards than there is on active yards. It's just facts. They outnumber them 5-1. These are guys though that don't get involved in these politics. They're out there doing their time and this and that, and those are the ones that could actually make a huge presence. If they were to decide one day, hey, we're gonna rock with these Bulldogs, or we're gonna rock with these Flowers, and get our status back. Because I promise you, man, for every 5 end souls or whatever they call them nowadays, I call them bros. That's what I call them. That's what I came up as. It's 8-9-1, bro, that are on these SNY yards. Because the fact is, more people fall off than survive by a huge, like, you wouldn't even believe the ratio. So for every 5 C's that are sitting on these active main lines, how many is there? 20, 30 tops? There's 300-400 on SNY. There's a couple thousand former bros that have put in work. You know what I mean? That would be the place where I'd be trying to make friends personally. You know what I'm saying? Not with none of these guys that wolf out the cell all day and they never did nothing. They never been nowhere. They just said, hey, I can't be here, and locked it up off the bus. But like Flacco said, when you jump off that bus as an active and they're talking about sending you to Mule Creek, you can't say, I can't go there. You go there and handle your business like a gangster. You're a gangster, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Times have changed. You could just admit your affiliations now. Remember when you get to them R&Rs and they're like, what are you? I'm an active Norteño. I can't go there. Well, guess what? You just got yourself a gang enhancement if you ever do anything down the line. Because I promise you that DA will subpoena those records.
And honestly, it's a cowardice act, bro.
It is.
You know what I mean?
Go out there and handle your business like we used to.
You know what I'm saying?
Straight up. I never even thought about that.
Good topic.
No doubt. So at the end of the day, I think the main point of this is the groups that are segregated by the administration, Bulldogs, original Flower members, I could see them joining forces, no problem. I think they've already worked together. They've developed a relationship in a lot of institutions, and they function identically. Granted, there's going to be some little differences and discrepancies about how this and this and this and this, but for the most part, extremely similar in philosophy and in goals and, the anti-politics. Now, as far as groups like the Riders, Deuce 5, Independent Riders, Gay Boy Gangsters, I don't see the Bulldogs or the Flowers getting rid of their integrity at this point by associating with these groups. That's my opinion.
I'm gonna tell you something after this. When we're done, you're gonna laugh your ass off. I can see someone that we know of that may be trying to reach out to the GBG to form an alliance.
Man, hey, we might have to do another one about that one, but I don't know. You got anything else, Flox?
Nah, man. I think we pretty much touched it, man. It's a pretty good topic, man. This is just room for discussion, man.
I think we both share the same opinion, man. And I wish success to everybody. People are always like, you hate on them. I don't hate on nobody. What I do is I try to deliver facts and opinion in the best manner I can, no matter what group it's about. Because, man, I break bread with North, South, Bulldogs. Anybody who's cool with me, I'm cool with you. And that's just how it is. I don't care about all that stuff no more. That was a lifetime ago for me. We're talking 20 years already. So this is your boy Rojo. This is the Rojo Room. Appreciate Big Flacco for stepping in here, man. And we'll be at you. We're going to be going live on Real Talk with Flacco here in about an hour and 15 minutes. We're going to be bumping some music. So check us out there at 2 o'clock or 2:15.
2:15, because you want to drop this before or after the video?
We'll drop it right now.
Okay, I'll make a thumbnail.
All right, so we'll see you at 2:15 or 2?
2:15.
2:15, Real Talk with Flacco. We're out of here. Have a good one, you guys.